You know, I had a viewer recently ask if we're really speaking to ghosts and spirits whenever we're using a ghost box. And I figured, you know what, let's go out to a location that there should be no spirits because it's just a benign little park. It's got a long history of being here, and there's been no history of anybody dying here on this property. Personally, I start to wonder, is the location haunted, or is it the spirits that are around us? I think that some locations have spirits that are there, but I think that there are spirits everywhere. Maybe there's spirits just wandering around. Is it spirits that we're talking to? We're gonna check it out. So I'm out here at the park. I'm gonna come here by this lovely little tree and see if we can get anything through a ghost box.
Popping off next. Hey, turn your phone off.
Takes a second for the sweep to start.
I'm a savage, but I'm good to it slow. Mr. Kip.
Hello, are there any spirits around here that would like to talk?
Trick. Team. Okay. On parents. We're trying to today. Shop. Shut. So make sure.
We're trying to determine, are there spirits at a location or spirits that follow us living?
All 40. All carpet. You know. You can. Choose to. 877. But our other hindered. The X ship model.
I mean, it's a really, really pretty park.
Choose. Start to and here. You can. You want. Go on.
So the replies that we get through a ghost box, are they spirits or ghosts?
Kiss me up. Hell. 20 seconds. Your head. Mike, in your team.
Are they other dimensional beings?
If you do. So happy. 150. No. Plans it. It's done. One is easy.
Well, we kind of go on the theory that spirits follow us.
And people music.
Can you tell me my name? Because then you should know me.
Non-focused. Where to get exactly.
Can you say my first name?
Fine. So, McCartney. You're not a teen or compromise. Tom. I never have times maybe two.
Well, I didn't hear my name in real time, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't something there. Sometimes you get a lot of replies that you actually hear right off the bat because there's a different tone to a reply. It's almost like the voice has a different resonance to it where you go, ooh, that was a reply. In this case, it didn't seem like there was a whole lot. is this definitive proof that a location is what has spirits around it or ghosts around it? Or is it the person themselves that carries along a spirit, because we're surrounded by spirits all the time? Is it our own mental influence? Is it pareidolia? Is it a lot of things? So I'm gonna go home, review this, post this video up. If there's any relevant captures, I'm going to annotate them on the bottom. From what I believe that I'm hearing, if you believe that you hear something different, or you think that you hear something that I didn't catch, as always, please post it below, because I'm very interested, because it takes a lot of people. It's not always just one person's idea of what a capture is. You have to work with other people, and you have to kind of bounce this off of other people and let those people be skeptics, because believe it or not, I do approach this paranormal field in general very skeptically. Dust orbs, 99% of the time, they're just dust that the camera happens to pick up in the way that it's lit up by an IR light or an external light. Even with your cell phone, when you have that little light on, it'll pick up little dust orbs. And I say dust orbs, just dust particles that are flying through the air. But, you know, we'll see what we caught. It's an interesting idea of, can a location I don't know. I'm chewing on this because I wonder, you know, I've been to a lot of locations, and so is the team. I mean, when I say me, you know, the team. We've been to a lot of locations, and there's been locations where we've got relevant spirits, and I'll say like Hood County Jail or Lavaca County Jail. And we've gotten relevant replies to known spirits that should be there, that have died there on the premise. And then we've gone back on different locations and gotten a ton of different spirits that have come in and come talk. So I just wonder, I mean, is it a time of day? Is it really the location? Is it spirits just coming and going from one spot to another spot? Ton of questions. And there's nothing definitive. And anybody that says that they have definitive proof, 100%, is incorrect, because there is no definitive proof. If there was definitive proof, then there would not be any one of these teams or researchers out there researching the paranormal to try to come up with answers, because there's definitive proof. I don't think there's definitive proof yet. I think that's why we're still doing what we're doing. And I think that you have to approach it with an open mind. And I think that there are so many possibilities. I mean, it could be as simple as the power of the mind is so extraordinary. And there was just some research done that talked about consciousness, because consciousness, when it comes to the human brain, where is consciousness? And they've just now discovered that consciousness is from neurons that pulse out an electromagnetic field that waves through the brain, and that is consciousness. And how is that important? Because it's important twofold. One, in the aspect of this article, was talking about being able to put human consciousness from an individual into maybe a robot body, a synthetic shell, or maybe grow brain cells in a petri dish and clone a brain and be able to put that consciousness into that tissue. From the standpoint of paranormal, is it still from the whole Einstein theory that I talked about years ago, where Einstein had said that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only be changed? And if that's an electromagnetic pulse, if you will, that's our consciousness, that's who we are, that dictates our personality and our emotions and everything that makes us individuals, is when we die, does that carry on? And that's that energy that can't be destroyed. And does it just linger on? Is it still consciousness from a standpoint of, if your consciousness, your soul, your being is energy, are you aware? Or are you like a USB drive of memories, and you'll repeat conversations that you've had throughout your life as your energy moves around, and that's what we're picking up? I don't think so, because I've had a lot of responses that have actually been very relevant to a question that was asked, or comments that were made on an EVP, not a ghost box, but a straight EVP on recorder that was relevant to either clothing that was being worn, or a conversation that was being had during a break, or just a direct reply to a question. So this video has gotten a little bit longer than what I wanted to, but it's kind of food for thought, because we can't always just sit there and just hang our hat on everything that we're talking to as ghosts or spirits, because we really don't know. More investigations, more research really needs to be done. I really wish that the paranormal field as a whole would stop the competitiveness and the pettiness of, I did this first, I invented this first, I tried this first, I already did this, I already came up with this idea. You know what, there's 320 some odd million people in just the United States. The probability of 2 people or 3 people or 10 people out of 320 some odd million people having the same idea is not astronomical. It's very possible. So if the field as a whole would work together, whether it was ghost box field, which is drama within itself, of I did this first, I did this, I helped this person, I should have this stuff named after me. If all that pettiness went to the side, and everybody in the paranormal field would reach out and study with one another and conduct experiments, skeptically conduct an experiment to where you say, okay, this is the idea, and bounce it off of 5 other people from different teams, or 10 other people, or 30 people. And you would start to find that everybody would have a little bit of input, to where the person with the original idea may go, wow, that was a great addition, we should do that. And when you get a collective mind, and all these, because I think all the paranormal teams, besides all the pettiness that goes on, there's a lot of intelligent people out there in the field that are truly striving, and sometimes egos get in the way. And I think that if everybody just got together and would collectively try to come up with an experiment, wow, that's a loud jet, come up with an experiment or experiments to try to validate certain, and I can't say theories, I have to say hypothesis, because the theory is something that is conclusive, or has got some basis on fact. Right now, this is all hypothesis. But if we all got together and did experiments together and shared the research as a whole, not that Abe Lincoln had a breakthrough, or Andre had a breakthrough, or Cindy had a breakthrough, and they need to pound their chest and it was their idea. It's a collective idea. Maybe the field would actually get further. I mean, when you take scientists like right now with the coronavirus, that are all getting together and they're working in a lab for a common goal, for a cure for this coronavirus. And the company, the laboratory, will take credit, and all the scientists will all be listed that partaked. So they all get credit in a way. I think that's what needs to happen with the paranormal field. I think that would give us a lot of benefits, that we would actually benefit tremendously being able to bounce ideas off of one another. Anyway, like I said, this turned into a long video. Just wanted to get out and just try something different at an innocuous location of a park. I call it the duck park. It's nice out here. People bring their families. It's been here for a long time. Nothing tragic's happened here. If I get nothing on the Ghost Rocks and on the Ghost Box replies, then there was nothing here. But that still doesn't disprove the fact that maybe there was a spirit here from 300 years ago that passed away on this land. The park hadn't been here that long. So anyway, a little bit different of a video. It's kind of a video of let's explore a little bit. Let's open up our minds. It's good to be skeptic. It's good to be skeptical about ghost boxes or EVPs, or like I had somebody comment about the DR60 on one of the EVP captures that I got, where he had brought up pareidolia, which happens a lot, and a lot of people get caught up in they heard some kind of grumbling, and most of the time from a lot of the videos that I've seen, now I wasn't there mind you, but a lot of videos I've seen, you could hear their clothes was rustling as they were talking and walking, and then all of a sudden they stopped talking, but you still hear the clothes rustle, and that rustling sound can make the sound of a potential pareidolia voice, where you go, oh, it said that. Don't be so eager to catch a response that you don't step back and say, was that really a response, or was it my clothes? Like right now, this gives off, and the pants that I'm wearing is the matching pants of this jacket, so it makes a ton of noise. So this is not something that I would wear out to a location because it's very noisy. Anyway, so food for thought. If you have comments, you're a team that's local here in Texas that would like to kind of hook up and get together and kind of bounce some ideas. It didn't even have to be a joint investigation initially. Just some ideas off of each other with the understanding that it's a collaboration between multiple people or multiple teams to come up with some really decent experiments. I've got one in mind for ghost boxes that will rule out radio interference. And no, it doesn't have to do with cutting off the antenna. It has to do with going to a location, and I've mentioned this, I guess about 5 years ago, is something I wanted to do. But I found a spot that this little local town only picks up, its radio stations on FM only picks up 7 FM stations, and it picks up about 4 AM stations. So you imagine, and I'll throw this out there for those of you that live in a rural area like that, if you pick up 7 FM stations, get 7 FM radios, tuned, each one tuned to that station, everybody gets a camera to record them, everybody has a timer, and then you've got one other person in a separate room of a building. And they can't hear any of the other stations going on the radios, and they do a ghost box session. And with their timer, and every time that there's a reply, you can go to that time mark and compare it to all 7 other cameras and radios, and was that a DJ saying that word? Was it a snippet, a vocal of a song that said this word or this phrase? And that would debunk ghost boxes like that, or it would validate them like that. That's the kind of research that I'm talking about. Anyway, so until the next video, I hope you guys have yourself a great weekend, and remember, as always, keep it spooky. I'll talk to you later. Bye.